The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to High School Hoops with your hosts, Steve Collins and Jake Steger.
All right, welcome to High School Hoops, episode 97. I was trying to figure out what day this is going up. June 24th, I believe this is, right? June 24th?
24th of June.
We're going to talk about some fun stuff that's probably pertinent to all of you. But before we do that, I'd like to give a big shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish. Great shooting machine. Go out and buy one. Like I've said before, if my son was a freshman or sophomore in high school, I'd go buy, maybe I'd buy the home version, but I wouldn't get the $350 discount. So I might buy one of the other ones. So Metion Coach Unplugged or High School Hoops, and they'll give you $350 off your next purchase. Also, I'd go join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. What allows us to keep these podcasts going. It's your way to give back. 14-day free trial right now. My programmer just sent me the first wave of edits for the updated site. So I'm hoping in the next month or so that's going to be up. It looks really good, nice and clean, and looks a little different than it did before, but looks going to do the same thing. So go over and check that out. All right. So, Coach, what's this week's topic?
Well, before we get on topic, we always have like a pre-meeting before we start working on some podcasts, and we had a hard time trying to come up with topics because the whole entire United States is in complete disarray with high school athletics and just in general. Well, as from an education standpoint, from teachers to, and every city is different, every state is different. It's completely crazy. And so like we've had a hard time. We've been trying really hard to keep our topics completely relevant. But at this point now, there's a huge separation amongst everybody. And we're just going to continue now getting ready.
I think it's hard. I think it was easier during the pandemic because everyone was at home.
Right. Well, that's not the case anymore.
No, it's not. And every state's a little different. So we'll come back. We'll circle back to this. In the fall, because I think it will be more probably uniform at some point. But for right now, we're going to kind of go through things that we think are helpful for you at this point. Some of you, I like this one. This week's, I think, is going to be pertinent to everybody. It's just where you are on that scale. But so just so you know that we're not ignoring it. We're not ignoring Black Lives Matter. We're not ignoring that stuff. We're just giving you content. Some normalcy in it. White privilege. I'm going to go on a tangent for a second. White privilege is real. Racism is real. I see it every day, and I'm a white male. And the way I discussed it with my son is I don't sit and talk to you about what it's going to be like when you get pulled over by a cop. Have I ever talked to you about that? He goes, no. I go, well, it's because you're a white male living in the United States, and that's why. And then we had a long discussion about white privilege and 400 years of basically institutional racism. And, one of the reasons I went into public education and one of the reasons I became a teacher is to be a little bit of that fight to help it. But yeah, sometimes I think, and we live in Wisconsin, I think sometimes, and I live in Dane County. which is in Madison, very liberal community. Racism is real in Dane County, and it is real in Madison. And
I teach in Milwaukee, and
it's almost worse. It's almost worse. I told my son it's almost worse because the racists are hiding. There's places in the South where they just don't hide. They're out.
Right.
They're like
our state in general. There's a lot of hiding, and there's like Milwaukee is still segregated, and there's pockets, and it's hard to understand.
Milwaukee's horrible. Milwaukee's like one of the most segregated cities in the country.
It is the segregated city, I believe. So it's
racism's real.
It is. And
I might leave Wisconsin if Trump wins. I'm sorry if you stop listening to me. I don't care. So stop listening, because anyway, I just lost 12% of the listeners. Oh well, I don't care. I mean, he's not. Okay, I won't go on a political tangent. Come on. Okay, no, I'm gonna stop. Okay, go ahead.
All right, we're good. So
we'll go on. That'll be my fourth. That'll be my fourth podcast. That is one thing I wanted to do before I forget.
Go ahead.
We'll leave Black Lives because that makes my heart hurt and makes me cry. I just started a new podcast, teachersidegig.com. I'm very excited about it. I started it for the sole purpose of just giving back to teachers. That's the only reason. I gave my son a little money to go make me a website so I'd keep him busy, to be honest with you. So I was trying to keep my 18-year-old busy. And I gave him some Bitcoin to do it. So he's super excited. But anyway, Teacher Side Gig is I want to throw that in because this will be perfect timing for everyone that's listening. It's just a couple weeks old. There'll be I launched with 4 podcasts. By the time this goes up, there'll be 6 or 7 of them. So go over teachersidegig.com or go over, just type in Teacher Side Gig Podcast. It's on iTunes. It's on Stitcher. It's everywhere. And what I'm doing is I'm doing 2 things. I'm interviewing teachers because every teacher I know now has a side gig, which is crazy to me. And I'm just giving some input of what I've done, all my side gigs, and then how I ended up with teachhoops.com and how I ended up with that side gig, which has basically allowed my wife to not work full time since our kids were born. My side gigs have allowed that. So, that was something I wanted to do. We couldn't really afford for her to stay home full time, but my side gigs allowed me to do that. I'm hoping this helps teachers, especially in these hard times over the next couple of years, which Jake and I were talking about before we came on too.
Let's not get into that though, please.
Yeah. That it will help you. So I'm not selling anything. I'm not doing anything at this point. I'm just trying to help teachers find a side gig. So if you like listening to this deep voice, which I've always thought I should be like on a, 105.7, bringing the Valley soul kind of thing. I've always thought I had a radio voice, that deep voice. But anyway,
you do.
that was my tagline.
A radio voice is a teacher voice a lot of the time.
It is.
So,
that was my tagline when I was at Lawrence. I had like the midnight to 2 a.m. spot on the radio show, and it was
I did. That's cool.
Bringing the Valley soul. It was because.
But many people don't listen to you at midnight, though.
No, my friends did. Because they were
that's cool.
Because it was Sunday night, they were all up studying, trying to get their work done for Monday. But anyway, go over and check it out. Teacher Side Gig. It will be. I think it's my baby. It's what you can do when you have a world pandemic. You have a little extra time. So I'm crazy enough to have 3 podcasts, and I actually have a 4th in the tank that's going to be coming out. I'm hoping by the end of the summer, which is life lessons, and I'm going to do that for my kids. Life lessons that I want them to know. So at some point when I'm not around, they can go listen to them or watch them on YouTube. And I'm going to share them with everybody. So that's coming out. We'll see. Hopefully by July, but that will be once a week too. Just like high school hoops and just like Teacher Side Gig right now. I'm hoping to do Teacher Side Gig twice a week, but I want to stay married. Okay.
All right.
Off we go. Sorry,
yes.
They call that bird walking in teaching.
Yeah.
You just kind of
just go.
It was better to get off the other topic because the other
Yes.
topic makes me irritated. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. So yeah, I think money is going to be a big issue this year in general.
Well, good lead in. This was a good lead in. I never thought of that. That was a good.
And you were kind of going on a political tangent, but we're not, because political tangent. There's tons of fundraising in that aspect
Yes.
too. But we're not going to go into that. But effective ways for fundraising for your team or your program, and I think there are really a lot of different avenues. I think in the next couple of years, and people are talking about this, the budgets are going to be smaller. We're going to have to find ways to fundraise.
And here's my concern with fundraising. Here's my only concern for people that are thinking about it, and that's why I'm hoping that this kind of people just kind of gravitate toward this when they see it on the description. Is, first of all, for high school athletics, there's the pizza place down the street, or there's the t-shirt place that you buy from whatever, that have always supported your programs during good times. And some of them are struggling right now. So I think this is a very fine line of asking them for more money in these difficult times. Like there's a restaurant called the Nitty Gritty.
Hey, Coach, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like. Those do mean a lot to us. The written reviews are really important. Two other things that you can do to help us out that doesn't cost you anything. First thing, you can go over and subscribe and like and join our YouTube channel, Teach Hoops. You get updates all the time on that. You can also, if you do any sort of shopping on Amazon, you can click our Amazon link down below, www.teachhoops.com/Amazon. Bookmark that. Anytime you do any shopping on Amazon, we get a small little commission, and it helps us with our hosting fees. And if you really, really, really want to help us out, you come over and join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better, become a better basketball coach. It's one of the reasons I got into this was to not only help my players, but to help other coaches. And like I said, we ask our players to work on their craft. Are you working on your craft? Let me help you become a better basketball coach. All right, back to the podcast.
There's a restaurant called the Nitty Gritty who has been great to us, has been great to the school district in Madison. It's called the Birthday Bar, a birthday restaurant.
Yep.
And I've tried to go there for takeout a couple days a week just to give back because they've been so good to our school and to our program. It's where I go when we win a state championship. That's where I go. They've been good. And I'm not asking them for money. I'm trying to give them money at this point. So I just think it's really going to depend on who you're asking and what you're asking at these times. Our athletic department has really tried to even rally about try to do takeout, try to do these things from these different companies. Because I just think fundraising's got to pivot a little bit. Parents aren't going to maybe have as much money, all of those things. So I think when you're doing fundraising, I think you got to think with global thought rather than, this micro, like I'm thinking just about my team. Not that it's not important and not that we're still going to need new things. I just think you have to really think about your specific community and how you're not only going to try to fundraise, but how you're going to try to support the people that have been there for previous fundraisers.
I think when we talk about fundraising, I think you kind of plan backwards and think about the things that you're fundraising for.
Yeah.
I think people often, we're just going to do fundraiser for the boys basketball program, girls basketball program, but people want to know where that money's going and what you're buying with it. You're more likely to get more money out of it when there is an end goal.
Right.
An end goal, they just don't want to give money to just give money. They want to see an end goal.
Right.
So that's the first thing. I think another thing is this, and the reality is, like, how can you get your players involved? This shouldn't be and other coaches involved too. Like, this should not be something else that you put on your back. Like, you need to, if you want to be successful at fundraising, you have to have other people involved in supporting you, because you can only do so much.
Right. And I think the fundraisers at this time is going to be not the free throw-thon where you shoot free throws and grandma and grandpa give you money maybe for how many free throws you make. I think this type of fundraiser needs to be we're going to do a car wash. We're going to bring salt for your water softener to your house. We'll bring 5 30-pound bags or 50-pound bags and load them for you. We'll charge you $7. If they go to the store, it will cost them $4 kind of thing. So we're giving you I think it's got to be service based. And this is where you can, what you're talking about, getting your kids involved. Car washes, you're not going to make more than a couple $100, but you're giving a service and they're working, which I think is important.
With a product and people, they're not just going to give out flat donations right now. It's going to be, you have to, it's like a bait and switch kind of thing. Like you have to like,
but you can also do something that like the old people can't load the salt in their water softener. I've already started to think about, oh crap, Drew's leaving. Like, I mean, the last 4 or 5 years, he's been able to help me take him into the basement. Now it's like, oh crap, I got to do it. And it's like, I'm not 10 years younger when I just pop them over my shoulder kind of. I mean, I can still do it, but in 10 years, it's like, shoot, I'd pay twice the price to have someone just take them to my basement for me. So,
right.
I think that's and here comes the problem is how do you social distance and do some of those things too. I get that. Washing your car, some of those things I think you can still do. I don't know. What else? What do you think?
Well, I'm just trying to think of all the things I've done and like where that sits. I've had like chili suppers. Well, that's not going to happen right now. I've done like selling gear, free throw-a-thons, all that stuff. Like, I just don't know where.
And gear can still work. Can still work because they're getting something. And you're getting some, here's a $12 t-shirt and you charge them $16, you make $4 on. I mean, that still works because they're getting something. They're probably not going to buy as many shirts when you think about the global part of it. You're not going to sell as many shirts because people don't have as much money.
I've seen people like if you can get to your local businesses and do some type of coupon card with local businesses would help small businesses. I know I've heard programs make a lot of money doing that.
We've done that, but we're not doing a fundraiser this year. Like our athletic department has decided we're not doing one because we're not going to ask our community to go out and buy $20. We're not doing that.
Right.
So I think that's so, and I probably will just sit because I'm probably okay. We're probably okay, but I just think I think before you jump in, you really got to think about the world we're living in. Of 14% unemployment, all these kind of people are being furloughed, people are being laid off, businesses are at restaurants are at 25% capacity. I just think you got to think about that. And then you also have to set your bar realistically about, we've raised $10,000 every year. Well, this year we're only going to raise $3,000. Like, I think you got to,
and I also think you got to look at like necessities. Like, this is not the year where you go, oh, we need brand new jerseys,
I know. I'm so happy. We got new jerseys last year well, I'm not coaching volleyball this year, but both sports last year, we got brand new jerseys.
Right.
So, yes. Because I wouldn't be going and asking for that now,
No,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And, if it comes down to making sure that you have adequate basketballs and making sure that you have good sanitation stuff and making sure that your court is clean and all those things in your locker rooms and all those things, like, I think that your fundraising this year has to be very, very slim and meaningful and really about, can the kids properly play? You can't go. I don't think you go for big ticket items this year. I think it makes you look selfish. I also think it makes it. I don't think it makes your program look good right now. I think you got to look at just the bare necessities. And I'm all for people saying, "Oh, we need 10 new basketballs this year."
And you might need new basketballs. Shoot.
Right.
I mean, personally, I'd buy them myself if I had to. Just take it out of my pay. Like, you're going to need, like, literally the one thing I probably need is basketballs. Like, because they just, I don't know if they don't make them as well as they used to.
Oh, they don't, dude. I'm telling you right now.
They wear out fast.
I'm a Wilson Evolution guy now because of the TF1000. It's gotten better. A couple years ago, it was really bad. But, like, I remember some of the TF1000s, they would last for, like, 15, 20 years.
Right.
And, like, now they last 2 to 3, and they're done. Not even. They're garbage.
Right. It's not like I'm playing them it's not like I'm playing outside with them.
Or on like a multi-surface. You're not. You're playing on hardwood floors. So, yeah, I definitely think that is something, in particular that.
They changed the legacy now.
They did?
Yeah. I don't know if that's a better ball or not, but okay.
I full timeout, so I took the time to get – all right, so I got some really good ones in the next couple weeks here.
Okay. I will be voting for Biden. Oh, that's not the question. Sorry.
So
I'm losing listeners. I got to shut up. Go ahead.
What is one thing an undersized player can do to elevate their game?
Get stronger. Get smarter. And what do I mean by smarter? I mean they have a better basketball IQ. So they can get smarter and have a better basketball IQ, and they can get stronger. Those two things you can control. You can't control your 5'7".
Yeah.
The quickness and the speed thing, yes. But I'm not sure the benefit, the cost benefit for speed and agility is there, but it takes longer. You can get stronger faster, and you can get smarter faster than you can maybe get necessarily quicker on the side steps. I don't know. That's just
for me. I kind of look at it as skill base or ways of being it. I thought of a couple players. I remember playing high school ball. They were 5'6", 5'7". They could shoot lights out from the gym. So if they could shoot 25 feet out, like they got to pull up and shoot, and then they, the shutter step. So if you increase your range as a small player, you're going to be far more successful.
Yep.
Because even if they come out hard, you're going to be able to create separation off of that because you have such good range. The other thing that I think is always really good is to teach players how to use the rim to protect themselves. So that would be another way that players could be able, undersized players can elevate their game, is learning how to use the rim to protect themselves.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Till next week. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey, Coach. Hope you enjoyed that. I would ask that you stop the car right now. You pull your credit card out. You go and join teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Because what you're saying to yourself is, I want to get coaching from Coach Collns. I want to become a better basketball coach. I want to take it to the next level. And let me help you do that. Also, make sure you subscribe and like, leave a review. Those are important. They allow us to get the word out about Coach Unplugged and high school hoops. And also, if you're thinking about doing any shopping, click down below the Amazon link. Every time you go shopping, we'll get a small little affiliate kickback, and it helps us with our hosting fees. All right. Talk to you soon.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ12. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ12 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.